Hey guys, what's up? What's going on? Welcome back to Kitchen Tonic. Welcome back to another brand new video here on the channel. Welcome. In this video here today, we're going to be cooking some curry, guys. But not just any kind of curry. Today in this video here, we're going to be making some butternut squash curry chicken. As you can see on your screen there, I have my chicken that we're getting ready to season up, and then we're going to allow this chicken here to marinate. So that's what we're going to be doing right now. I do have another butternut squash related video on my channel if you guys want to check that out, but that one is curried shrimp butternut squash. So in this video here today, we're going to be making some curried chicken butternut squash. So let's go ahead and start seasoning up this chicken here. And I'm not really going to be doing too much measuring for this recipe here. I'm just going to be eyeballing most of the ingredients, so you guys can feel free to go ahead and judge the amount of contents I'm going to be putting in this chicken here. So what I'm going to be putting here right now, it's some black pepper. As you know, we always start off our seasoning with some black pepper. And I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of salt to this chicken here as well. Also, I do need to mention that what I went ahead and did with this chicken here, I went ahead and washed it with a little bit of white distilled vinegar. And that's all I've did so far. So as you see there, I just added my pepper, black pepper and salt to my chicken there. And what I'm going to go ahead and do now, I'm going to add a little bit of green seasoning to this chicken here. And finally, I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of curry powder to my chicken here as well. And this is just to get the chicken nice and infused with all this curry flavor that we're looking for. It is curry chicken after all. Butternut squash curry chicken. So I'm going to go ahead and mix this up right now. You can feel free to use a gloves if you want to do that, or however you feel comfortable mixing your chicken here. One of the reasons I just added all my ingredients in there so that I don't have to be touching the chicken back and forth. So now I'm going to go ahead and mix up this chicken here with my hands, and then I'm going to go ahead and wash my hands off so I don't cross-contaminate anything in my kitchen here. Like I said, feel free to do it however you do it. Alright, after you've adequately mixed up your seasoning there, you're going to go ahead and let your chicken here marinate for about 30 to 45 minutes. And while I'm allowing my chicken here to marinate, I'm going to go ahead and cut up the rest of my seasoning, such as my garlic, onion, butternut squash and everything else. So I'll see you guys when this chicken is finished marinating here in about 30 to 45 minutes. Alright guys, so here we are. Welcome back. It's been 45 minutes later. As you can see, I have my pot with some oil on my fire there. Of course, I went ahead and chopped up my butternut squash here. And what I'm going to go ahead and do now, I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of cumin seeds into my oil here, my hot oil. And what I'm going to go ahead and do, I'm going to allow this cumin seed here to just roast for about a minute or so. We don't want them to start burning or anything like that. So we're just going to allow them to roast for about 1 minute before we continue adding a little bit more ingredients to the pot there. Alright guys, so after about a minute of roasting my cumin seeds here, I'm going to go ahead and add some onion as well as some garlic in my pot here. And I don't know if you guys notice, I am using a bigger pot or a deeper pot here for this recipe here today, because we're going to be adding the butternut squash to this pot here. And as you can see, the butternut squash is currently in a solid form. After it's finished cooking, it's going to be kind of a mushy consistency, which will reduce the amount of contents in the pot there. But in order for my pot to hold all of my ingredients that I'm going to be adding here today, I chose to use a deeper pot. Alright guys, now after about a minute of adding my garlic as well as my onions in there, and that was 4 cloves of garlic that I added in there. What I'm going to go ahead and do now, I'm going to go ahead and add some curry powder to my pot here. And you guys, like I said, you can average the amount of ingredients I'm putting in my pot here. I am putting a little bit more curry in my pot here, as this is a curry dish. I would like my curry to taste like curry. Alright guys, so what we're going to be doing here, basically we're going to be roasting this curry here for about 4 minutes. And we want to release all the granules and everything else that has been compressed in this curry here. So we're just going to go ahead and roast it for about 3 minutes. Alright guys, and after about 2 to 3 minutes of roasting your curry here, what I'm going to go ahead and do now, I'm going to add my chicken that we seasoned earlier into my pot here. I'm going to go ahead and mix this around to get everything nice and coated. Alright guys, what I'm going to go ahead and do now, I'm not going to add any liquid to my pot here as yet. I'm going to go ahead and cover this pot down, and I'm going to go ahead and allow my chicken here to spring its natural water, and then we're going to go ahead and continue with this video here. So what I'm going to go and do now, like I said, just cover your pot down and allow your chicken to do its thing, spring all of its natural water and all of its natural juices. Then we'll come back to add some more steps to this recipe here. Alright guys, so it's been 2 minutes since you guys last see me cover this pot here, and let's see what's going on inside of this pot right now. You want to make sure that you try to scrape off the bottom of your pot to get any of your stock curry paste from the bottom of the pot there. Alright guys, so at this point here I'm going to add a little bit of water to my pot here. And we're going to continue scraping off the bottom of the pot to where there's some of our curry paste and our curry goodness stuck to the bottom. Alright guys, as you can see all the goodness that's going on in my pot here right now. And this is coming together really nicely. Now what I'm going to go ahead and do now, we're going to go ahead and add a little bit of turmeric to my pot here. Now of course what I'm going to go ahead and do, I'm going to add my butternut squash into this pot here. Like I said, this is curried butternut squash guys. I'm going to go ahead and mix this up, of course, make sure everything gets nice and incorporated. Now I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of water to my pot there to where most of my contents there is covered. Alright, that looks like just about enough water for now. What I'm going to go ahead and do now, of course, give this one last mix, and then we're going to cover this pot down and let our curry do its thing. And as you can see right now, like I said, my butternut squash is nice and solid, but as this pot boils down here and simmers, the butternut squash is going to lose its form and it's going to become very mushy, okay? So that is to be expected. Now like I said, we're going to go ahead and cover this pot down, allow our chicken to finish cooking, allow our butternut squash to do its thing, and I'll check back in about 10 to 15 minutes. Alright guys, so it's been 15 minutes since my pot here has been boiling away, and I'm going to go ahead and put the finishing touches into this pot here while we allow it to simmer down. So what I'm going to go ahead and do now, I'm going to be adding a little bit of spice. That is some hot pepper that we're going to be adding in there. I'm also going to be adding a little bit of ground roasted cumin or jeera. If you remember in the beginning, we did add the jeera or the cumin seeds. Now I'm gonna go ahead and add some ground roasted cumin in there. I'm also gonna go ahead and add a little bit of masala in here as well. And masala is totally optional based on your taste or your preference. You can also go ahead and check for salt content, or check to make sure you have enough curry in there, and make sure that everything is going right according to how you like it and how you want it. What I'm going to add in this pot as well for my final addition is some potatoes. Not too often you see curry without potatoes, guys, so I'm going to go ahead and add this potato in here. Like I said, I know the contents of the pot looks a little bit enough right now, but this is going to thicken up really nicely as the butternut squash begins to disintegrate, and everything is going to come really full circle. Now you can also go ahead now and taste for salt content, or to make sure that you have enough curry and things like that. So I'm going to go ahead and do my taste test, and then I'm going to go ahead and cover my pot back down and allow this pot here to simmer. So I'll see you guys with the final product, and if I do make any adjustments, of course I'll be sure to let you guys know. Alright guys, so here we go, my final product. Now my pot here is not finished yet. I'm going to continue allowing it to simmer a little bit more. Now what I went ahead and did off camera, I added a little bit more salt, and I added a little bit more curry powder to my taste and my liking. Now, as I keep emphasizing, make sure that you're tasting your pot as you go, and add salt and curry powder to your liking. Now what I'm going to go ahead and do, I'm going to allow my pot here to simmer a little more, and it's going to thicken up even more. But for now, that is it for this video here. I want to thank you guys for watching, and be sure to join me another time, another day, for another brand new recipe on Kitchen Tonic.